Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about two events. We're going to talk about two events that occurred over there and what it means for the wider situation. One of the events is getting a whole bunch of coverage because it was larger and there was footage of it. The other event, comparatively, was a smaller event, but when it comes to foreign policy, it might end up being the thing that sways countries' actions. Okay, so the first event. Israel conducted a strike. My understanding was that they were going after two people. At time of filming, I do not believe there is an accurate count. Suffice it to say, it was more than two people. It was bad in any way that it could be bad. It was so bad that Netanyahu came out and said it was a tragic mishap. If you are doing something that pretty much every expert in the world said not to do, I don't know that you get to call it a mishap. The other event was Israeli and Egyptian troops exchanging fire. They shot at each other. The West is not going to be okay with that. The West is not going to be okay with that. Even if it is de-escalated, and at time of filming, it seems as though it is being de-escalated. The West will not risk Israel and Egypt going at it. You might start to get more pressure from countries that have been big on rhetoric and symbolism, but haven't really applied any pressure of their own. They may start playing bad cop to the U.S. good cop. I would not expect economic pressure, but it wouldn't surprise me either. I would watch developments in Europe. Because they may take a tougher stance on this. And people are going to want to know why. The Suez. The West is not going to be okay with that in any way, shape, or form being jeopardized. That's what it's about. Now, the countries will probably frame it around the ICJ or the strike. Anything except for that, because nobody's going to want to say that. But it is incredibly unlikely that the West doesn't do anything, that there isn't some kind of ratcheting up of pressure, unless this was just a completely freak incident. Now, saying Israel and Egypt going at it, you had two groups of people right then. One laughed. To y'all, I would remind you that the Egyptian military of today is not the Egyptian military of back then. They're not rocking T-55s and T-62s anymore. And then there was probably a group of people who thinks, well, maybe it'll help. It won't. It will not. Israel is not going to want to fight on their own dirt, and they're not going to want the Palestinians behind them. It will not help. So hopefully that is being avoided. I know that the two countries are in contact, so that's a hopeful sign for de-escalation. But again, foreign policy is about power. A whole lot of power coupons flow through the Suez. So you might actually get some kind of movement from countries that were just kind of following the U.S. lead. They may start to do something a little bit more than just express their displeasure. So this is a situation to watch. Again, they're not going to say that it's over the canal. That's not what they're going to say. But if you start to see Western nations, particularly those in Europe, really start to ratchet up pressure, that's what they're concerned about. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.